haven't pronged enough of it. Ugh. Disaster! Aye. Well, look at this. Still quite nice weather, isn't it? Which is good for me now because I can keep the cows out. As you know, I am feeding. Look at these bad boys here. I'm feeding hay to the cows while they're still out. Let me just multitasking as usual. Can't do it. I've got a tripod here. Just put that in there. I'm feeding this hay. Look at this. This stuff's beautiful. It's nice quality. I think we've had 100 and... How many of those have we had in now? Over 100. Do the maths, Rich. Come on. 106 of these in so far, which I've been feeding. I fed those to the cows. Also, I had some silage bales before that. And we're still feeding all the cattle on the farm that, which is an expense. It started in August with the drought, and I've been feeding through. We're getting to that time of year, to be honest, now where you'd have to be doing a bit of feeding extra. And you know, the silage clamp's there next to me. Some years I've opened that right at the end of October. But the thing is now, look, I mean, I've gone from one extreme to the other. You know where I wanted rain. Now I'm hoping it holds off because it's still really warm. It is really warm. And although the grass isn't growing much, I've actually, let me get in. I'm actually hoping it stays dry so that I can keep my ring feeders out in the field and feed them rather than get them in here. Because it's a battle against the weather now. If it stays dry, then I can keep them out on that grass, and it'll save me bedding them, feeding them down in there and cleaning them out. So I want to keep them out. The only thing is, those ring feeders in the field, we're going to go and have a look in a minute. The ring feeders in the field are making a mess. And I'm in a dilemma now whether to move them, keep moving them, so each spot doesn't get as damaged, just leave them in one spot, or just leave them in one spot and then have maximum damage on that area, but it's only one area. I think I'm going to move them again today for probably the final time before the cows come in. So I moved them last time about 10 days. I've moved them twice now. This will be the third time I've moved them. So we're going to have a look. I'm taking a bale out. I've got 2 bales to put out in the field. Then we're going to have a look at the heifers and have a look at the beautiful autumn leaves. Let's just get this one. I always make your journeys worthwhile, so although I'm only going out to remove the ring feeders, I might as well take a bale out with me while I'm going, because then I ain't got to come back to it. Look, 4-stringer. 4-stringer, everyone, remember that, because sometimes you get 6-stringers, and then the really tiny ones are 2-stringers. 4-stringer. So you can see here, I'm just looking, you can actually see the marks from the old, where I've had the feeder before. Look, they're coming up. We'll get out in a minute. Can't see through these windows very well. That's not too bad, it's dried up quite a bit. Up here, it's a bit mucky. Let's have a look. I'm going to get out, I'm just going to put the bale down. It's a mucky. Let's get and have a look. Right, let's go and have a look. Let's see what I mean. I'll show you what the issues are. Here we go. So, ring feeders have been out down there. They were out there for about 2 weeks and made a bit of a mess. I've been probably a couple of weeks out here. I've moved them. It's the third spot. They were over there on the dirt, but then the cows got a lot of foot problems. You can see here, look, they've really churned it up. A lot of this is just cow muck actually. You can see there's just front feet there where it's dry, abdomen, body here, as they call it, back end, cow's feet here. Look, it's quite interesting. The muck is all here, isn't it? So they pooed, as they're eating, they've pooed and they've churned it all up, but this is all quite good here. And then look, there's still grass in the middle of the ring feeder, isn't there? Plus the remains of bits of twig and God knows what. Probably docks actually in the middle. So I got 4 like that. So my plan is, I think what I'm going to do is move them onto fresh ground to there. Each one moving forward a little bit. Just because I think if I leave this too long, look, you see they've started to dig in. here. They're digging in the soil here. Actually, they're taking the grass off. And if I leave it too long where their feet will, it'll be almost like a trench around here. So I think what I can do, you see, I think as long as it's not damaged too much, I can just sort of chain arrow over it once the cows come in, and the grass probably will recover. Or if it doesn't, I'll just sprinkle a bit of grass seed. But if I leave it too long, it won't recover and it'll just become a bright quagmire. I am very lucky it's not rained now, actually. The interesting thing is, I've been on the British Farming Forum trying to work out what best to do, because I saw someone else saying, what do you think is best to do? Move ring feeders regularly, or keep them in one place? And you get a mixed bag of opinions, actually. I mean, that's the whole point of anything. If you go on any forums, I do find the British Farming Forum quite good. It usually has quite a good discussion on there and things. You put a question up and 40 people are piling with all different opinions, but you pays your money and takes your pick. So I've been on there and looked at what someone else was putting about it. Half the people say leave them where they are, less damage on the overall field, and the other half seem to say move them regularly and then you get a small amount of damage in each area. So I'm doing the move them regularly option. I don't know. Whichever way you do it, it will recover, and it will recover whether, you know, I don't know, I've got to put grass seed on, or whether I've just chain arrow, or whether even if I just left it weathering over winter, I think it would recover, especially at the moment, because they're not making too much mess. Anyway, right, crack on. Just gonna move these feeders and then we'll put some more hay out. I've just jumped out of the tractor. You can see, look at this, look, much more obvious now, isn't it? Look at that. That's where the weeds have come from, the dust and the bits left at the bottom. Right, I'm just going to put that bale out now. Let's go and put this out. Probably noticed I pronged it on the one side of the bale. Well, the reason for that is that after a bit of experience of doing this, I realised that if you do that, majority of the half stays on the fork and the other half just drops in. Oh, excuse me, drops into the ring feeder. So there is a plan in my madness. Right, look at that. Look at that, it's like a floppy thing. Alright, Let's see now. This is going to be a tricky one, I think. Whether it all stays in. Well, let's have a look. Error there. I haven't pronged enough of it. Ugh. Disaster. Right. Right. Disaster. More of it went in the ring feed than should have. I haven't got much left on my forks, have I? Look at that. Oh. Right. Let's put that in the other one and I'll come back for that. No doubt someone will moan at me say you've cocked up there and everything. Do you know what? You know in my videos I show the cock-ups. I could easily delete this. But I show you that I didn't judge that right. I didn't have the bail on the loader right, and it basically a chunk more of it fell off and should have. Hey ho! Look, there we go. This one's alright, look. There we go. So really what I should have done is I should have taken that bail back off the loader, put it in the right place on the fork, and then cut it. But I couldn't be bothered. This doesn't really matter in the scheme of things. There'll be no hay left in that ring feeder by the end of tonight, I can guarantee you that. And it won't have mattered if I've cocked up, it just showed you that I've cocked up. Right, put that in there, and then I've got to go and get another bail. Alright, done that. Let's get that. Oh look, see I got a bit on there. I did chuck a bit of it into the other ring feed, I couldn't be bothered to put it all on there. Bit of a mess, cows will eat that up. Alright. Let's get that on there. I quite like this job in the afternoon, putting the bales out. It's quite a nice little job actually. You just tip it in there, the cows love it. There we go. Right, let's go and get another bale. That's the dirty bits. Little farmer story here. I was having a chat with our AI man the other day and he was reminiscing about the times. He's 66 I think, and he was telling me about you know, when he was young and farmers didn't have the sheds to overwinter cattle, but they also didn't have, you know, 300 cattle, they had 40 and stuff. He said the farmers used to overwinter the cattle on fields of kale. And I remember my dad having a field of kale. We used to have it along there, what we call the new ground. There was kale, and used to strip graze it, like I do with the electric fence when I've got enough grass. You move a fence every day and let them have another piece, and you'd let them have the kale. I think you probably fed that with some other stuff like hay as well, because he did say to me, it's interesting, if you fed too much of it, when you open the bulk tank lid, you could smell the smell of sort of cabbage. The kale smell, it tainted the milk, so you'd have to be careful on feeding that. But yeah, I do remember feeding kale, and my dad feeding kale anyway. But I also remember my dad growing a few acres of potatoes and wheat and stuff. It was a lot more, God, this is going back early to mid 70s. It was a lot more of an era when you still had the farmers doing a little bit of everything. And then of course as things like regulations on doing spraying, we had a sprayer here. We had a little sprayer, I remember that, on the back of the tractor. Now you've got to have a certificate and it's got to be checked, and it's not worth having your own sprayer on if you're going to do a few acres. But yeah, my dad grew corn, and I think now the corn sheds are supposed to be all bird proof and everything. All the regs, you know, fair play, you need the regs, but it moves it on and it bumps things out of the farm equation, and in the end you're better off specialising and being set up for one thing. I think that's really where it's gone now, isn't it? Unless you've got massive acreage and then you can do everything. But if you've got a small farm like ours, you sort of, the little mixed things have sort of died out a little bit to a degree anyway. Some people might disagree with that. Right, we're back. We're back at my stack. This is, so it's nice quality hay. You can see it fell apart when I took it out. That was part of the problem. It's not really a problem. I'd rather have nice quality. Oh, there you go. I spiked that one better. That one won't collapse in the same way. I hope it won't. Anyway, let's get out there and put that one out in the field. I'm actually really hot in here. I've got my jumper on. It's flipping boiling. October, unbelievable. A lot of cows are out and they're on it, look, can you see that? They're on it. Let's get up there and get this one out. Come on, bad boy. There we go. Let's get out here. I reckon I position this right. I reckon get half a bale down. Let's see. Knock the revs back. Right. What do you reckon? I've got to find my penknife. Here we go. The old Opinel, my favourite penknife. Get this out of here. Oh, it's windy out here. Put the lock on. Right. Are you ready? Are you ready? You know I get dust in my face. Oh. A bit has gone over the side. Well, it's very dusty this hay, but that's okay. No, losing some on this side as well. So I didn't plan that one very well either. I think what it is, this hay is definitely finer than the last load I had. Oh, I'm gonna put the knife away. I'm gonna chuck this away in the feeder a minute. Go away, you. Go away. Go away, come on. Oh, I didn't really get any of that right. Oh, both bales, I thought them wrong. I got flipping dust in my eyes. Oh, not clever there. Stood on the wrong side of the bale when I was cutting it, so that all the flipping dust blew in my face. And then also, I didn't cut them very well. Ooh. I'm just gonna, just trying to take the tripod off there. Right, I got to get another bale down the field now. What do you reckon? How much of that do you reckon I can get in the ring feeder down there, and I got to bring it back up? So I only take half down a day. Let's have a look. Oh, I got dust in my eyes. It's really annoying. Oh, that's not nice. But what a lovely day. Hey, hey, it's a beautiful day. Hey, hey, it's a beautiful day. Look at this. Can you just see the golden leaves behind me? Look, there, on the trees. We'll go and have a look at the leaves on the trees. I reckon it's the most colourful autumn I can remember for a while. Am I just imagining that, or is it just? Does it seem better this year? Particularly the field maples. They're really yellow and orangey this year. We'll have a look at those down the fields, because I got some beautiful ones down there. Let's go and have a look. Oh, it's a bit bumpy there. Right, one more bale to go, one more bale to go, one more bale, one more bale, one more bale to go, one more bale, 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 whoop, yeah. One more bale, one more bale, one more bale to go. La 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 la, one more bale to go, one more bale to go. I got a hell of a stack of bales. There we go, we're just going down now. You can just see the golden tints on the trees, can't you? Down there, look at those maples. Right, we're heading down there, but we'll just have a look at the hedgerow here. Look, even the hedge is sort of like a golden colour. Look at that, lovely. Right, let's go down there. Absolutely stunning. I'm going to get out in a minute. Let's go and have a look at this tree here particularly. This one is the best one. Let's go. Look at that. Wow. Isn't that beautiful? I don't know. I hope you're seeing it in the same eyes as me, because I just love it. I love it. Look at the hedge. It's even gone orangey on the hedge. Let me just get out. Look, some of the leaves are down. They don't look quite so stunning when they're down. But it's a classic maple leaf, like in the Canadian. Is it on the Canadian flag? Let me get this wrong. Probably get it wrong. Any Canadians there, tell me off, please. I'm quite accepting of that. And this is blackthorn here, I think. But even the leaves on that looking lovely. Look at them, sort of orangey colour. But you know, hey, look at that! I love it. I love it. I just love it. Field maple's one of my favourite trees in the autumn, because their leaves just generally are a lovely colour, and they'll probably go a bit oranger later. Look at that. That's not an ornamental one. That's just a normal field one. But if you've got them around your farm, you get a beautiful colour. Try not to stand under that bale, Rich. And it seems as well, I think the sun, the side that the sun's on has gone more of an orangey colour. But it's losing a few at the top. But the ash isn't gone yet. Look, they always go later. Can you see the contrast? Look, it's quite interesting. Look, next to them. The ash there, still green while it's still alive. And the maple, lovely orange. Right, well anyway, let's go and have a look. I'm going to put this bale out. We'll also go and have a look at a little maple I left hedge trimmed round a while ago. Right, here we go. Nearly down at the heifers. You see, I positioned the bale where I want it for later. Halfway across, ready to put out in the ring feeder down here. Handy bit of string here, look, with a little loop. Right, I'm going out. I'm surprised I'm eating that bit there and that bit there that I draw. I'm going out to that ring feeder there. Right, let's get this out. Get a tight squeeze through this gateway. It's still manageable. And the heifers haven't noticed me yet, so I should be okay to get this in the feeder before they come legging it over, because that's the biggest worry, is if when they leg it over. They will come running once they realise what's going on, I'm sure, because the ring feed is empty. Right, let's put this out here. It went all right, didn't it? Right. Whoops. Let's pack up. Let me get the tractor out of here, and then we'll have a quick look at the maple a minute, alright? I can't believe that those young stock haven't spoiled me. They obviously aren't mega hungry, because sometimes they're waiting around the meal feeder. In fact, they're heading away. I guess I know what it is. I know what it is. You saw how windy it was with all the grass blowing. I think the wind is blowing the noise of the tractor the other direction, so they can't hear the tractor. That's probably what it is. Because wind noise goes by. I noticed this wind blows the noise the other way, doesn't it? If you've got a clear day, the sound will go on for miles. Right, I'm going to shut this gate. I'll have a quick look at. I'll just show you. Right, let's see if I can find it on YouTube. Okay, I put up a video ages ago when I was hedge trimming. I think it was like this year or last year, which might take me a bit of finding. I left the field maple in the hedgerow, trimmed round it, and this is the time of year when you can really see it. Let me see if I can find that clip. If I haven't found it, it'll be straight to the field maple, but otherwise you're going to be watching where I, if you like, created this tree. Here we go. So we're going to come up here now. This is good, because the only good thing about doing one of the good things about doing 2-year hedge trimming is it does get the chance for the sapling to get big enough for you to see. All right, let me just spin it around. Here she is. Should we call her she? There we go. The new for 22 field maple. Look, quite a spindly thing. And it won't get a massive tree, but let me just, if I can zoom in, look, it's spindly, nothing much to see at the moment. But I'm hoping to come back, we'll see that again in the future. Look at that, I'm just pleased that I could leave that one. There we go, I'll just stop it on the way before we get to the tree. I'll just put that in there, tied it up. This stuff is really crumbly. Right, there it is, there she blows, let's have a look. Look at that, one little lonely tree just starting to go. So look, can you see this? You can see the golden leaves on it, can't you? Look at that. Look. Which means it stands out much more this time of year from the hedgerow than it would normally. Quite often you've got a little of green, you can't see them, but if you know your trees, you'll be able to pick them out. You know, that's far enough away from that pylon line not to interfere with those branches. So I don't think that the pylon crew who look after the line will worry about a tree that close. If they do, they'll trim it, but I don't think it's a problem. So that's left there. Hopefully I did find that. But oh look, the heifers are actually legging it. They're going off. Let me just show you. Look, they're going. They're gone. Look, can you see them? They're on a little route. They must have a little circuit. They're off. They're grazing. They normally, quite often, they can't be that hungry, you see, because normally they're by that feeder. Another lovely field maple behind it, look. There we go. Right. Well, there we go. So you can see me, you know, well worth leaving a tree in a hedge like that, because this time of year it really shows up, doesn't it? And I would say to any of you who are at hedge trimming this year, you know, a lot of people are on with hedge trimming or about to start it. The ground's good for hedge trimming. Go on, leave a tree. Leave a tree for me. Leave a tree for the funky farmer. Preferably something like a field maple, because you're at risk with the ash trees, leaving them. The ash tree over there, look, it's got ash dye back. I can see it. Let me just show you. Look, I can see that up on the top of that tree, that ash tree there. Can you just make out the branches that are dying? Look. Look at that. Terrible. Look at that. Terrible. And I don't know whether that tree will still be alive next year. It might be completely gone. So it is a problem now leaving trees on the farm. You're running out of options. Ash trees at the moment, I think, is a bit dodgy leaving a sapling on that, because it could well get ash dye back. You might be all right in 5 years' time if the wave of it goes through the country and maybe dies out, hopefully. that's a bit debatable. I mean, the only thing is the ones that are left might be, if there's some that survive, might be genetically resistant to ash dieback, so we could actually breed some ash trees from them. Let's hope. The elm trees, you got no chance with them at the moment. There's none of those survive more than about 10 years, if that. They'll always get Dutch elm disease. I wish they'd blooming hurry up and sort. They did do a genetically modified version, but they didn't release it because of, at the time, we're in the EU, and they don't like GM stuff. But we're not in the EU now, so maybe we can get the elm tree back. So your options are things like field maples, oak tree, obviously. Here we go. Look at these acorns. Look at these acorns down here. Look at these. They've gone past the green stage now. They've all ripened off. But look, it's a blanket of them. Can you see that? Look at that. So if you can see an acorn, see an oak tree growing in the field, leave it, give it a chance. So you guys out hedge trimming, this is your chance to change the landscape of England. Do it. Make something that will be there for 100 years, long after you are probably. These trees will be here after I'm gone. I'm doing my bit. I've got trees around this farm now that have been put here by my dad, probably my granddad as well, but definitely by me, because since I took on the hedge trimming, I've definitely changed the landscape of this farm for the better. And I can look across here now and I can see some oaks that, let me just go across here. Look, if I'm zooming across, can you see that oak tree there? Oh, not a very big one yet. It's big enough, and there's another one next to it just there. Those two oaks weren't there 20 years ago, and there's a field maple there that wasn't there 20 years ago. And that's all from hedge trimming. That's all from hedge trimming, where I've been out with my hedge trimmer and I've left those trees in the hedgerow. I know some farmers find that trees in the hedgerow a pain, and the arable boys don't really like them because they shade their crops and everything like that. But what is England without its trees and its hedgerows? What is a farm without wildlife and stuff? It's nothing. It's just a barren piece of ground, isn't it? Well, some people don't mind that, but I do. So anyway, I just I got on my little high horse again, am I? Oh dear. You guys, you know, it's up to you how you farm your farm, isn't it? But for me it's important to have the birds and the bees and everything. Right, I'm heading back now. I got my half bale on. Hopefully that'll make it up the field, and then I'll put that out for the dry cows. Just got to tie this gate. I always know when we got special visitors around the farm who do naughty things and chase the hares, because they tend to cut the ties on the field, on the gates, and or at least, well no, they cut them, they don't even untie them. So that's one of my symbols of, oh, I've had a visitor. I'm sorry, I'm trying to multitask here. Let me just, you can look at my hair and my nostrils a minute. There we go. There we go. That's how I know someone's been down here. It's the flipping, they cut the strings. Right, let's go. See you all soon anyway. Sorry about it. It's a bit of a random one, but I thought it was quite interesting to talk about the trees and what's going on. This time of year you really see them. Right, crack on. Cracking on, still cracking on, slowly.